Tonight, we're taking you inside a controversial traffic stop. A local police department investigated its own and found that some broke the rules. The most severe punishment? 1 day of paid suspension. Andrea Lucia joining us live tonight with a story we will only see here on CBS 11 News. Andrea?
Yeah, Doug, we got a tip about this from somebody inside the Midlothian Police Department who didn't feel it was being taken seriously enough. We turned to the department's chiefs looking for answers, and they gave us a rare look inside their internal investigation.
11:21.
It was the middle of the night in Midlothian when a police officer spotted this Jeep.
The reason I pulled you over is you're all over the road.
In a field sobriety test, the driver stumbled and struggled to keep her balance.
What did you have to drink?
A couple shots.
A couple shots?
Yeah.
Do you know what they were?
Whiskey.
To the two officers on scene, it was clear she was impaired.
You are under arrest for driving while intoxicated, okay?
Okay.
But once they had her in handcuffs, they checked her license and realized just who they had arrested. Midlothian police granted CBS 11 video from dash cams, body cams, and cameras inside the room where officers were questioned about that night in an internal affairs investigation.
I don't agree with what we did out there.
Officer Nicholas Vanderkar was the first to recognize that the driver was the daughter of a Midlothian police commander.
Hey, Evan.
You can see him remove his body-worn camera and ask his partner to do the same.
What's up?
Put this in the car real quick. All he told me was, do you know who that is?
The news hit him hard.
It blew my mind. I was like, holy this is one of my supervisor's daughters. So I was like, there's my career right there. Like, I'm done.
Officer Evitt called his sergeant, Stephanie Hansen. The sergeant said she told him to let her go.
Is she falling down drunk? Is she throwing up on herself? Is she incoherent? Is she just absolutely gone? He said, no, she's just, I think she's had too much. I said, okay, well, I'm going to call her dad to come and get her.
Go ahead, unhandcuff her, unarrest her, and just hang out there.
The officers did as they were told, releasing the woman to her father. But their actions that night left them upset.
And I couldn't sleep. I mean, because again, like, I know what we were doing, I didn't believe in.
My wife even said when I got home, she's like, are you okay? Like, I was pale. It bugged me a lot.
There was no record made of the arrest, no incident report, which is required when anyone is restrained. Officer Evitt says he went to Sergeant Hansen at one point feeling panicked and scared.
She's like, well, it was my decision. Like, don't talk about it.
The officers, though, did speak to others. Within weeks, rumors reached Professional Standards Commander Vernal Dooley, who launched an investigation.
Why do we arrest her? She's commander's daughter. And I know that in our policy, we have discretion, and in this state law, we have discretion.
Sergeant Hansen would later write she wanted to spare the commander the emotional pain of seeing his daughter in jail at his workplace and having to bond his daughter out in front of his co-workers.
You can't let your personal relationships affect your decision to arrest or not arrest.
As discipline, the officers received a written reprimand in their files. The sergeant orders to attend ethics training and to take a paid day of leave of her choosing.
The sergeant in this case is directed to take a day to reflect on the policies that were violated and to learn from those and to report back to the chief.
Assistant Chief Scott Brown didn't determine the punishment, but did agree to sit down with us.
How severe of a punishment is a decision-making day?
I've never had one, so I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that question.
In private meetings, he says those involved expressed regret.
I think they're all prepared to learn from it and move on.
Justice, based on who you are, he says, isn't what this department stands for.
It doesn't reflect the values of the department, or we wouldn't have implemented discipline. You know, there's a lot of trust put in us by this community, and we have to earn that trust.
Well, the two officers were asked why they removed their body-worn cameras. One said it was something he saw during training when officers wanted to talk amongst themselves. The other said he'd never seen it before, but he trusted his partner who is asking him to. Now, the department says it is seeking to clarify with the DA's office if there's ever a situation where this would be appropriate. They say right now it isn't illegal to prematurely turn off your body camera, but it is against the department's policy. Doug?
So can I ask you this? You said the assistant chief didn't determine punishments. Begs the clear and obvious question, who did?
Yeah, that would be the Chief of Police, Chief Carl Smith, and I did get a chance to talk to him just today, particularly about his decision to give the sergeant that 1 day of paid leave. He insisted that this is not a vacation day, that it is a suspension, and that she would be expected to spend it thinking about her commitment to the department's policies and then reporting back to him.
Brings a lot of questions. Andrea Lucia, thank you so much.